We
Often.
we learned on our Cottywampo, which was when we traveled for 10 months in our RV, that sometimes when you take a wrong turn, sometimes when the plan doesn't go as expected, you might end up in a far better place than you had originally planned.
Hi, I'm Ian.
And I'm Megan,
Welcome back, or welcome to.
the Memory Millionaires Podcast.
We are survivors of government service,
Cancer
world travel,
and parenting. We're here to share stories and insights to help illuminate your path towards a happier, healthier lifestyle.
Memory Millionaires Podcast Season 2, or version
Episode
2?
X.
X. That's funny, I'm just listening to Elon talk about X and how people aren't tweeting on it anymore. It's not a tweet if it's more than 140 characters and an hour-long video.
Yeah.
It's just another social media now, which I'm feeling pressured to be part of. And
Pressure
Yeah.
from who?
from when I'm talking about growing a following, growing a company, they immediately say, well, you know what we should do is get on TikTok and make a whole bunch of helpful videos and things like that. Fortunately, I know a content creator. Fortunately, he wants to trade services. Fortunately, I believe that's going to work out that way. That we can trade coaching for content creation, and this might even get more better. It's only going to get better. This is only going to get better.
A lot of things only get better. Life?
Hair.
I said a lot of things.
I'm contradicting.
I didn't say everything.
I'm contradicting.
One thing that has only gotten better, in my opinion, you could tell me if I'm wrong, is our relationship.
It's only gotten better. What is a better relationship like? Like I guess you can certainly say you know what a bad one looks like. Mm-hmm. But when one gets what is a good one getting better? What does that mean?
What I see that as is the two parts in it are seeing growth and seeing positive change.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do you think is...
How does a good relationship get better? Like, we don't have fights. Like, we don't fight each other over things. We don't belittle each other over things. That already means it's at a good relationship. So, yeah, how does that get better? And I think you're saying the example is the two parts gain.
Yeah,
In a partnership, they both gain, and it gains too.
Yeah. So, when we both walked into a Starbucks 14 years ago, neither one of us were supposed to be at that Starbucks at that time.
Friggin' Starbucks.
I don't even like Starbucks. Do you like
Friggin'
Starbucks?
No.
I don't know.
I don't dislike it. I do dislike it.
Yeah, I do dislike their coffee.
I do dislike.
Neither one of us was supposed to be there. Neither one of us drank Starbucks, but both of us tagged along with a friend because we were sleeping at those friends' houses.
We had a sleepover?
Yeah.
Adult sleepover?
I mean, I was 20. I was still wearing the clothes from the night before because I had slept at Kate's house, probably on her couch. I don't remember.
Which house? The really tiny one?
Her apartment in Bremerton.
The one I helped you move out of? Or
Yeah,
her move out of?
to move in with me. And we'd probably been drinking, but we were also 19 and 20, so I don't know if we'd been drinking, but we had definitely been smoking.
We do not
Marijuana.
condone illegal behavior. This
So,
is educational purposes only.
we were also drinking. It wasn't hard to get alcohol. For whatever reason, I didn't drive home that night from Bremerton to Tacoma. Smart. And the next morning, she said, "Oh, I have plans to meet my friend Jason. Do you want to come with? Do I drive back to Tacoma or do I go to Silverdale to meet this Jason guy?" I was single. Why not go meet a new guy?
Were you freshly single, though? Weren't you still talking to...
I don't know at what point of this ending of a relationship I was in.
I had the same...
But I would also say that my relationship cycle at that point was kind of like a revolving door of like
Oh my gosh. That was
just open to whatever
That was so
happened
similar to
with,
me, too.
So I was definitely seeing multiple people, dating multiple people. I had one, like...
You weren't committed. Neither of us were committed.
No, I had one quote-unquote serious relationship, but that was clearly ending because that was not in alignment with who I was at the time.
You weren't going to become a Mormon.
That. Also, I was on this
It's a bold...
completely different trajectory that I had been on when I met this person and started dating this person. So I met this person and started dating this person when I was 18. 2 years later, my experience in college and my experience of that, like, technicolor spiral of crazy, I was all in for... I'm just going to enjoy being young and partying and having a good time. And whatever happens, I'm open to it, for the most part.
Whatever happens, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Wait, you were there when you came to Starbucks? You were whatever happens, I'm open to it. Okay. That's
And I didn't go to Starbucks to meet Jason. It was...
to get a coffee? To go with Kate?
I woke up in the morning, she was going to coffee, I might as well just go to coffee. Honestly, I shouldn't have gone to coffee, because at that point in time, I couldn't afford to just spend my money on coffees at Starbucks. I couldn't.
Didn't we buy your coffees anyway?
Maybe. You had just come home from a deployment, so you were feeling rich. But at that point, probably shouldn't even been driving to Bremerton to hang out with people, right?
You were that broke.
Because I was broke, and I should have...
Pay attention to that, folks. That brokenness doesn't mean no potential.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're stuck.
Definitely. But I was definitely at a point where I should not have been just frivolously spending my money. I should not have been choosing to drive 40 miles, one or more days a week each way to go hang out with friends, which usually meant spending more money. But for some reason, and part of that reason was I had come from being in college, having a whole lot of fun, living next to and with my really good friends, always having people around, to moving into an apartment away from all of that on my own and being very lonely. I came back to home, but I had really established a community in California.
Support structure, entertainment, like constant entertainment.
Yeah, that I felt really lonely when I came back home, and I also felt very disconnected from the people who had been my friends because I had changed so much when I went to college. And I will admit, not all of it was good change. There was a lot of growth, but there was a lot of Megan just wanting to have a good time.
Coping.
A lot of coping, yes. And that plays into the reason why I was in Bremerton and then at Starbucks.
Coping. So what is good now came from a place of loneliness, no money. What were bad choices?
A lot of
Reasonably, not contradictory, but not necessarily complimentary.
the only reason that I know Kate Morton is because of the very contradictory choice I made.
Oh, wow.
But what that has gained me in my life, it took a while to, I wouldn't say it took a while. Kate and I connected very quickly. And it was clear that we were meant to be close friends. And within a couple of months, we moved in together.
And they got babies together and houses and
So,
not together, but like, yeah.
it's one of those lessons of the wrong turn might be the right way. I took a wrong turn in choosing to be in the situation where I met her, where I met Kate. I had to reconcile some of that poor choice I had made, and then deal with some of the repercussions of that choice I had made in my life for a while after that. But the overall outcome has only been positive. Like,
So yeah, that wrong turn may be the right way.
yeah. And
Backstory on that. I don't think we've expounded on that ever
wrong turn
in
might
this
be the right way.
in this setting. I think we put it in a blog, maybe.
We
Often.
we learned on our Cottywample, which was when we traveled for 10 months in our RV, that sometimes when you take a wrong turn, sometimes when the plan doesn't go as expected, you might end up in a far better place than you had originally planned.
Beyond your disappointment in the minor expectation that you're going the right way can lead to ecstasy in your expectations being exceeded, well exceeded.
Not even, I would say not even expectations. You did, like, the first time this happened, I believe it was the first time this happened, was a level of disappointment of...
There's the mattress, there's the
that's
fridge,
true. There's all kinds
there's
of
so many wrong
things.
things.
There's so many wrong things that ended up turning out in our benefit, whether it was not...
The wheel fell off the car. And we went to that little... well, that really didn't pan out to a right way, but...
So...
We've had plenty of wrong turns.
Yeah. And I think it's really easy. In my past, it has been very easy for me to get down on myself and berate myself for making those wrong choices.
From what perspective? From you looking at it, or from what you think others might think of it?
From what I think others might think. I have...
Which then becomes your narrative, your critic.
My inner voice has had to come a very long way to be okay with what other people think of me. Because
Why?
it's not...
Why? What is a long way from what?
A long way from every decision I made was in order... Every decision I was making was in order to please someone, to make someone else happy, to not disappoint someone else. And it...
Where did it start?
I mean, this starts in childhood. Mm-hmm. Starts a really long... Like, this starts really young. Mm-hmm. Right? I need to do the right thing for someone else to be happy. I need to...
Sit down in church.
We could start a laundry list. I'm not here for that. I'm just saying
Well,
that.
but I mean, what I mean to point out to people is you can see it. You
Oh.
can see it, and it gets uncomfortable. And if you see it, say something. If you that gut feeling, the majority of people have regret not over money, not over or even relationships. They have regret over not being more assertive and kind when the opportunity presents itself.
Right.
And I see it with little kids
All the time.
lots where they're just wrapped around the axle, and their parents are too. And I have the vision of it, and I can say, hey buddy, my name's Ian. I have little kids too. Do you want to see the soda machine work? I really just made that up in my head, but isn't that like possible for you who can see this potentially not traumatic, but the perpetuation of someone,
It's what it was like for me was a perpetual dimming down of Megan. Mm-hmm. Like
oh my gosh, we're guilty of that.
It's true, and that's like just this morning. I was like, let him wear the Minecraft pants.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it's just those little bitty things that time after time, if you're being told you're wrong, or you're being told you have to behave or act a certain way, or you're being told that your emotions are wrong, because I remember a lot of that, of being told my emotions were wrong. You don't have anything to cry about. Why are you upset?
Well, you're talking to a man.
Right.
And that is like written into law, written into social structures, just literally beaten into us.
I believe that the gift I have to give now, where I am today, is all of the learning and all of the deconditioning of programming throughout my life, from the time I can remember up until I finally decided, which has been very recent, that what other people think I should do, or how I should act, or how I am going to please other people is not as important as how I feel and how I think I should act. And it's the hardest part is knowing and being okay with those big emotions. Right? Like, I've years of practice shoving those emotions down and not speaking them.
Polluting them. Diluting them.
Thinking they're wrong. Mm-hmm. Thinking it's wrong to have really big feelings. Wrong for wanting to scream and yell and cry. Or equally jump for joy and excitement. And having kids has been the biggest portal for me of, yeah, it's okay to be so freaking happy over, I don't know, just anything.
A song came on, and Sully came running in and wanted to dance with me.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. I was in heaven. He wanted to dance with me with one of my favorite songs while I was cooking dinner in my house with my kids and my wife. And yeah, that was...
And it's okay to get excited about your favorite song coming on the radio. And it's okay to get mad when you want to wear the Minecraft pants and mom and dad and grandma and whoever are telling you, no, you should wear these other pants. I don't want to wear these other pants. I'm going to be mad at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what an interesting time to come up as a kid.
So when I met you at Starbucks that day, I was still very much in that people-pleasing mode.
So much so that you didn't speak much. I remember you didn't, and you've told me about it, that you didn't want to mess it up or something?
Well, I was also stoned.
Oh.
And
Bunch of Navy guys.
but yeah, a bunch of Navy guys. Like
Two Navy
yeah,
guys. Two
well,
Navy guys.
Just like
Clean cut Navy guys.
I didn't want to make a bad impression though. Like I was.
Gosh, you did not. You were so gorgeous.
I remember.
You woke up on a couch and looked like that. It was great.
Well, I remember I was wearing a yellow shirt that I'm pretty sure was Kate's. Either that or I was wearing something I'd slept in. I know my shirt was yellow.
Oh, I thought it was like this. It was like tan. And you had the jean jacket and your hair was big. Just like the Baby It's Cold Outside photo.
That's an image you've created.
Oh, no.
Me. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, clarify for me.
Well, I mean, it also was 14 years ago, and we still argue over what was the first dessert we shared.
And I was hungover.
And you were hungover.
I came to on a couch, just the same as you, in an apartment that I was living out of their shoe closet in like those Target Tupperwares is all I had. And I think I had storage. Yeah, I had storage at my dad's on Vashon. And I was, just come back from deployment. And I didn't have a residence, but I roommated with someone. So the BAH, the basic allowance housing that I was entitled to, came to me. So I was making the most money I'd ever made in my entire life while deployed, feigning a rent that I had to pay but didn't have to pay. He let me crash for like $300 a month on his couch. So I was in a place similar to yours of everything I do is going to be for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to please any more women. I had just got out of a dramatic relationship where she constantly emotionally abused by like building me up as her savior, and then turning around and doing that for two other guys. They were her savior. I'm her savior. They were her savior. Cheating, mysterious, but she was really good at capturing me,
making you feel like you were needed and wanted.
Well, I knew I was too. So the the good side of me that said I'm going to be a supportive relationship person, like man in the relationship. I'm gonna go to Vashon multiple times a week after work, buy her dinner, look past the turmoil she has with her ex-boyfriend, support her mom and her grandma in some way, and be the hero,
Because it made you feel good. It made you feel like the man you're told you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I thought I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
In that.
The right.
So, she got pregnant, and she said it was mine. And to me, that made entirely all the sense because I was with her the most. There was an ex-boyfriend that it could have been, and at the time, I even thought, oh, it might be his. But she up and down, look, here's the conception date. I was with you that day, and that day. It was like 3 days that we were together. It had to be you. I know when it happened because I did show up that day, and I surprised her. I went to her work. This is on Vashon Island, so it takes some I have to get on a ferry. Yeah. For those listening, there's actually a map right behind my head with Vashon on it. So I get off work. I go to Vashon. I try to get there as she's getting off work, and I do. I get there just in time that she's getting off work, but she's not there. So coworkers say, oh, you just missed her. You just missed her. Great job. Still feeling like the hero. I go to get cigarettes at the gas station, and she's there with a bunch of friends. And I just run up and I hug her and I kiss her and I say, I'm here. Let's do stuff. Let's go to dinner. Oh, I'm already going to a party with my friends down on the beach. Like, I already have plans. I'd like that you came, but I already have plans. I'm going to go now. And it was like, I was miserable. I smoked half that cigarette pack waiting for the ferry.
So you turned around and just went right back home?
Yeah, I just left.
Okay.
That night, she stayed in a tent with a bald dude. I don't know him. I just know he's bald and he lives in lots of tents at the time. That's the father of the baby that I, with her, placed for adoption, saw him born, named him Caleb, and gave him to the family that we picked together. And he was not mine. And she had been lying for 9 months while we went through this terribly difficult process. I named him Caleb as my firstborn son, and I did what I thought was best. Still the hero, still trying to be the good man, and said goodbye to him. And geez, that was like 13 years ago, 15 years. Wow, there's a teenager out there. My name is still on the paperwork, so he very much can call me and say, "Hey, why are you like involved at all?" Anyway, I had come, then we deployed for a little bit. We didn't deploy for a while. I forget what it was. Something that just made us go and then come back. And yeah, we were riding high on money, and I was YOLOing, my way through everything because I didn't put any stock in something external to me anymore because it was just ruining me. So I moved to the couch to save money. I lived with my friends because I loved them. And I got my car that I really wanted. I put a wishful thinking post up on the Subaru page saying, "Hey, if anyone's got an STI and just wants to trade my WRX, I'll put money on top of it." Boom. I got Kimber, the freaking awesome STI. I loved that car so much. It was awesome. And then I got my apartment complex. It was awesome. And I had just met you, and you were awesome. And all this stuff came from a terrible time. I was miserable. And also finally free and happy, actually.
Your story just reminded me of another story that I don't think I've ever told anyone. I may have told Kate, but I don't think so.
Is it a baby?
No baby.
Whoa.
No baby. This was either right before or right after I had met Kate. Because I met Kate, I'm pretty sure, at a Halloween party. Like the very first picture of us, we were dressed up in 80s gear.
I remember that picture. Why can't I remember what you looked like?
Anyway, so
I swear it was a jeans jacket.
it was right around either right before or right after, and I know it was that time of year when this happened because I had gone out hunting for mushrooms and found a patch of psychedelic mushrooms. And I was supposed to go out on a date with this Mormon guy that I had been seeing, but I knew it wasn't going anywhere. Like, it was clear that it just, yeah. Anyway.
Not gonna be a Mormon.
That was part of it.
Yeah.
But just
big boundary.
clearly we just, yeah, too many differences.
That's funny. We
Anyway,
live down the street from a Mormon church now.
I had, gone out, like, looking for psychedelic mushrooms, not expecting to find them, and then I found them. I was like, oh, I was doing a lot of coping at this time, because like I told you, I was very lonely. And I don't recommend this to anyone, but I decided that I was going to take them that night instead of going out with him. Right. Take
You
them
did tell me about this, I think.
alone.
Okay.
All by myself. I may have told you this. I don't remember telling anyone, but I may have.
Okay.
So, I'm in my little apartment in Tacoma. I
Didn't he come over?
call him and tell him, I'm not feeling well. I don't want to go out tonight.
Were you giggling while you were doing
No,
that?
no. This is like, I called him first,
Okay.
then took the mushrooms for him. I don't recommend taking a significant dose of mushrooms and just being by yourself with no plans. Like, it was just totally on a whim. I'm going to do this, right? call him, cancel that, take the mushrooms. I'm starting to get that, like my stomach's starting to feel that little bit, and I'm starting to, things are starting to, my vision's starting
Wub, wub.
to change, and I'm literally just decide I'm gonna just lay down on the floor, right? Because that's what I need right now. And I hear on my door, and I think, who in the world is here? And I peep through the peephole, and it's him.
But if he would have looked through the window, he would have seen you laying on the floor too. Did you let him in?
I did.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, I can keep my cool. Things aren't
I've
that
been
intense,
here before.
right?
I've had to put on.
Yes, many times. Many times I've been in a situation
practiced.
of being on some substance,
This will be fine.
and a lot of it was actually around my friend's parents. So I was like, I got this. I'm cool. I opened the door. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He showed up to my house, my apartment, with a pregnancy test because when I said I didn't feel good,
Oh.
his first thought in his brain was,
baby.
oh, well, we had sex and she must be pregnant. And so he comes, he's like, I brought this over, I want you to take it. And I just, like, all I could do to keep myself from just, like, being hysterical, not with upset, but hysterical with laughter of being like, this is so funny.
So are you like,
I'm just like, you have to go. I am not pregnant. Like, please leave. I
this poor
don't
guy.
feel good.
he was like, again, trying to do the right thing.
Trying to do the right thing, but
he walked into the wrong way.
yeah, I was like, I promise you I am not pregnant. Like, I just don't feel good. You should leave now.
Can we give him a nickname? Not his real name, but like Tim.
My family just calls him the Mormon.
All
I
right,
don't know.
The Mormon.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He really is trying to do a good. I wonder where he's at. I know where my ex is at. Not right now, but
That's
yeah.
those aren't our stories.
No, those aren't our stories.
So you had come from this situation.
So I'd come from a wrong
And
way.
you were just like, screw this. I am only doing things for myself. And I was coming from a very lonely coping. And I was like, I need friends. But also I still want to party all the time.
And I had a brotherhood around me too.
Yeah. And
That
I
Didn't necessarily support me. They called me stupid. you know?
So, and then I was coming from, I had nothing. Felt like I had nothing. It felt like I had to abandon all of the friendships and things I did have and leave those behind to come, like, move back here. So yeah, we met each other at very interesting times.
At
in our
times,
lives.
at times that if we, in the time, like if us now could have popped in those couches or in the dreams that we were having on the couches and even hinted at this could be, we at the time would have said, absolutely not. I'm done with relationships. You're not interested in Navy guys or any kind of commitment or anything like that. And I think what someone listening or watching can take away from this is there were two wrong ways. Like there were two places we didn't want to be, but it was exactly where we needed to be in order to find what we wanted most, which was a partnership.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what I wanted at the time. What I wanted at the time was someone's attention. Someone to give me attention and affection and feel like I was part of a relationship.
That trip to Seattle.
Yeah.
Where we go up the Space Needle.
For someone to make me feel special and feel wanted. And honestly, like, there were a lot of people that I went on dates with and spent time with that made me feel wanted, that were not wanted in the way I wanted to be wanted. Wanted to be wanted?
Like how so? They didn't adore you? Like they did? They just
Yeah, just, just not, it clearly not a relationship that was worth developing. Okay, so, I mean, that's a really good introduction to how we met each other. And we did not learn until a few days before our wedding, 6 years later, that our stories were connected way before we ever even met.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's a story for...
That'll be season 2, episode 2.
Maybe. We'll have to tell that one because
I forgot about that.
our lives are connected over 50 years before we...
50 years. Yeah. Okay, so you listening, you watching, where were you when everything was wrong but something right came from it?
Yeah.
The wrong turn could be the right way. See you next time. Wait. Don't go. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and share via review or post how this episode complemented your life.
Thank you for listening. Connect with us on Instagram or Facebook at Memory Millionaires.
Be well.